attention gather karna is for people who know that are lacking that attention. But people who are accomplished or who have achieved something in life, unko they don't want attention, they don't crave attention. Because they know agar wo ek cheez bolenge, the whole room is going to stop and listen to them. University में admission हो जाए, but वो struggle खत्म. हाँ, sure, life set है कि आप U of T में या Oxford में, Harvard में आ गए हो, but there is another kind of struggle and another kind of, battle waiting for you there. क्योंकि मेहनत I am 100% sure कभी खत्म नहीं होगी life में. Because humans are never satisfied of their success. If you are 20 years of age and you have a 3, 4, 5 page resume, there is something really, really wrong with your resume. You have to only write things that are of value towards the company, towards the recruiter and towards the job.
Academic success, your success out of academics, like in debates or the co-curricular activities outside, what matters the most?
Everything cumulated. If you are bad at studying but good at extracurriculars, in terms of bad, I am talking about below 80% or below 85%. उससे कम अगर marks हैं आपके and you're still, active in debates and declamations, sure, you have a good shot of applying, but not a good shot at getting accepted.
So Jiya, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. कैसा रहा दिन?
It was good. Yes.
कैसा चल रहा है UFT में सब?
Things are going well. I am studying and working part-time, so managing a lot of things at the same time and excited for the next semester.
How many semesters are there, by the way?
There's 8. So every 4 years of studies basically cut down into 8 semesters of study.
Each year has 2 semesters?
Each year has 2 semesters, fall and winter.
And is it like India, where we have same subjects that we study for each year? Or
no.
What is the system of education?
So basically in your first year, you have to take a set number of courses and a pre-decided list of courses. After that, depends on what specialization you choose. You can take as many courses as you want. You can take, if I am studying finance, I can also take a music course. We have a course called Listening to Music.
Wow.
Yeah. We have a cooking course where it's in class. They teach you how to cook or how to make basic dishes. There's a course on Bollywood movies. So you can enroll for that. You have to analyze movies and then make a presentation on that. So I can take all these courses and complete my degree with my specialist.
Okay. What is the significance of these type of courses? I know it's very people be so curious to know कि एक business course में आप ये चीजें क्यों पढ़ा रहे हो? एक finance course में why are you teaching such things?
Right. It breaks the monotony. अगर आप किसी interview में जा रहे हो या किसी job में apply कर रहे हो, it's just one additional thing for you to talk about. Or say if I'm interested in music या बहुत सारे finance के courses कर लिया, I want something different now. So I can enroll for a Bollywood movie course and then, study for that. As an elective, I can take those courses to boost my GPA. So these are reasons why we have these different sorts of courses, and people do end up taking them and enjoy them, score good. That increases your GPA as well. So,
and it actually gives you, I think, an edge on students.
An edge, an extra topic to talk about. And an extra experience basically. Studying music in a university or watching Bollywood movies in a Canadian university. So that's a very different kind of an atmosphere.
Also, what I think, tomorrow if you want to change your stream of job or anything, of professionalism, you can change your profession easily.
You can also choose a minor. So I can take 3 movie courses or 3 music courses and have a music minor.
Music minor. What does music minor mean?
So I am doing a finance specialist. Along with that, I can do a minor in music. So taking 3 to 4 courses, fulfilling that criteria, and I can have a music minor. So say if I want to join a studio or work in the industry or in production, if I take certain courses that fulfill that criteria, I can have a music minor and have it on my resume.
Wow. So you can, with finance, you can work in a music industry as well.
Basically that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
चलो थोड़ी शुरुआत से बात करते हैं.
हाँ.
We just jumped into UFT.
Yes.
University of Toronto, I think one of the best universities in the world, among top 20, I think.
Yes, currently.
And one of the best in Canada.
In Canada, yes.
How did you come in? कैसे join किया?
Right.
Even before that, how was your 10th, 11th, 12th?
Right.
Co-curricular activities वो ज़्यादा मैटर करती हैं या फिर आपके परसेंटेज ज़्यादा मैटर करते हैं?
Right.
Only people with 99.9% will go into such universities?
Right.
Or what is the scope?
So I'll take it back to 4 years from today. I belong to a city which is called Karnal. It's a 2-hour drive away from Delhi for people who don't know.
20 minutes from my home.
Exactly. I studied in Delhi Public School, Karnal. So public school, कुछ IB या IGSC board नहीं, CBSE board. And grade 10 में I scored fine, 95% के around. Grade 11 में पहले था कि हाँ I might pursue medical. तो मैंने PCB लिया हुआ था. But then 11th end आते आते realize हो गया था कि मेरे बस का नहीं है. I won't be able to cope up with the amount of pressure or stress there is in India to get into a good, medical institution and then study 5 years MBBS and everything. So I switched to commerce. So accounting, business studies and ये सब चीज़ें पढ़ी तो interest develop हुआ banking industry में, financial industry में. So when grade 12 was coming towards an end, which is basically January, तब तक सब everything was done, boards की preparations हो रही थी. I heard from a friend of mine that she's applying to universities abroad. तो तब थोड़ा ऐसे लगा कि हाँ maybe I can try as well. फैमिली से कोई डिस्कशन नहीं हुई थी, कोई प्लान्स नहीं थे ऑफ गोइंग अब्रॉड और अप्लाइंग टू कॉलेजेस इन इंडिया फॉर दैट मैटर. आई वाज क्लूलेस. तो एक ही यूनिवर्सिटी का पता था अब्रॉड विच वाज UofT इन कनाडा स्पेसिफिकली.
कैसे पता था? आई एम सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट. सिर्फ UofT का ही क्यों पता था?
ये I don't exactly know why, but there's a family friend of mine who already studies at UofT. तो कहीं ना कहीं वहाँ से सुना होगा. एंड देन ऑनलाइन अगर आप सर्च करो टॉप 20 यूनिवर्सिटीज़ अब्रॉड. सो स्ट्रीमलाइन कर करके कनाडा इसलिए डिसाइड किया क्योंकि पहले ऐसा लगता था कनाडा जाना इज़ ईजी, फैमिली भी है यहाँ पे थोड़ी बहुत, तो वो सपोर्ट भी रहेगा, लोकल सपोर्ट. एंड देन US का पता है देयर इज डिफिकल्टीज इन वीज़ा, एवरीथिंग. ऑस्ट्रेलिया इज़ टू फार और देयर आर नॉट मेनी गुड इंस्टीट्यूशंस दैट आई वांटेड टू गो टू. UK पर्सनली मन नहीं था जाने का बिकॉज हमारी कंट्री रूल करके जा चुके हैं 350 साल. सो दैट वाज अ डिफरेंट स्टोरी. बट सिर्फ UofT में अप्लाई किया था विद नो हाई होप्स ऑफ गेटिंग इन बिकॉज आई अप्लाइड जस्ट 1 day बिफोर द एक्सटेंडेड डेडलाइन. डेडलाइन वॉज January 13th बट उन्होंने एक्सटेंड करके January 31st कर दी थी. तो वो देख के ही कि ऑलरेडी एक्सटेंडेड है, दैट मीन्स जो लोग भूल गए थे वो भी अब अप्लाई कर रहे होंगे. तो चांसेस सीम्ड वेरी लो. आई अप्लाइड इंडिया के January 30th रात को. तो एप्लीकेशन फीस वगैरह भर दी. देयर वाज अ सप्लीमेंट्री एप्लीकेशन ऑल्सो. सो आई हैड टू राइट 500 to 600 वर्ड्स ऑन लीडरशिप और what have I done in the past, extracurriculars and everything. So school में I have been a part of debates, declamations, sports में interest था and everyone knew me. So basically I had connections with the principal, teachers, everyone in my school. Those things came in handy. वो चीज़ें लिखी. Grade 10, grade 11th के grades, 12th के predicted marks. So I had to ask my principal कि the grades that you are expecting I will get, वो एक letter head पे आप मुझे लिख के दे दो with 1 paragraph about myself. So she gave that, वो submit किए. And then 3 months after I applied, I almost forgot कि UofT से कुछ आना भी है, acceptance या anything further. 3 महीने हो गए थे. I had no idea. एंड एक्सपीरियंस भी नहीं था कि कब यूजुअली यूनिवर्सिटीज़ रिस्पॉन्ड करती हैं. सो आई गॉट एन ईमेल April 24th that I've gotten into my first choice of program, which is BBA, but they call it management here. And they have a lot of specializations to choose from, so I chose finance. So BBA finance with co-op, I got in, which is, by the way, very competitive and there are a lot of people that enter this program each year on a cohort basis, and I think selection criteria is about 10%. तो जितने अप्लाई करते हैं उसमें से 10% get selected and they are the new cohort. So got in, but then again was contemplating कि offer accept करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए because tuition was a lot.
How much was it?
60,000 for one academic year.
So each semester was $30,000.
Yes.
8 semesters, that means $400,000.
Close to 240.
240,000.
Yes.
For 4 years.
For 4 years of study. So वो फैमिली पूरी बैठ के कॉन्टम्पलेट कर रही थी कि what if I go abroad for my masters or apply somewhere else. And then 3-4 दिन के बाद ही I got the offer April 24th and April end was the deadline to accept or reject the offer.
Okay.
And towards April end, 29th ko I think, I got another email which outlined my scholarship. So I didn't apply for any scholarship towards U of T. कोई extra application नहीं थी, कुछ नहीं. Just on the basis of my grades, extracurriculars and the supplementary application I submitted, उन्होंने scholarship offer करी.
उनसे आपको University of Toronto में scholarship मिल गई
without applying. So that was basically an entrance scholarship but spread for the whole 4 years of study. So it amounted to approx 40% of my whole tuition, which was a big deal. And expect भी नहीं किया था. When I didn't even expect to get in, scholarship was a huge thing on top.
True.
तो decision लिया, admission फिर accept किया, deposit वगैरह pay किया, and that's how I ended up at U of T in this program. And it's been 2 years now.
Now I'll come back to my question again.
Yes.
Academic success, your success out of academics, like in debates or the co-curricular activities outside, what matters the most?
Everything cumulated. If you are bad at studying but good at extracurriculars, in terms of bad, I am talking about below 80% or below 85%. उससे कम अगर marks हैं आपके and you're still, active in debates and declamations, sure, you have a good shot of applying, but not a good shot at getting accepted. At least 92-93% and above with good extracurriculars. इंडिया में हाँ है कि 99.9% अगर आप ला रहे हो तो IIT में आपका एडमिशन होगा या एम्स में आपका एडमिशन होगा and they don't look at your extracurriculars.
As I know, your marks even don't matter
when
in
applying.
IITs and AIMS.
Yeah, like
Your
entrance exam
entrance
के marks.
matters,
Exactly,
right?
that's what I was talking about.
Okay.
तो JEE में आप जितना score कर रहे हो, that is the ultimate deciding factor if you are getting in or not. But say U of T या for any top university abroad for that matter, अगर आपके 99% marks भी हैं, but you have nothing additional, आपने स्कूल में कभी किसी चीज़ में पार्टिसिपेट नहीं किया, कुछ एक्स्ट्रा co-curriculars नहीं किए, they would rather take somebody with 93% who has done a lot, who has seen a lot, who is good at public speaking, good at talking with people and presenting themselves in a better way. तो जिसके पास स्टोरी अच्छी है या खुद को प्रेजेंट करने का कंटेंट है जिसके पास, an interesting person they would prefer over someone who is always into books या nothing except for academics. So basically that is their criteria of.
And is it like, can we talk about all the top universities, they check like this only, or is it just University of Toronto?
No, as far as I've heard, each university, top 50 or even top 100 universities according to QS world rankings at Times Higher Education, they do look at what you have done beyond academics. क्योंकि academics सब कर रहे हैं, grade 12 तक सब लोग स्कूल में पढ़ रहे हैं, but आप उसके अलावा क्या कर रहे हो? What extra step are you taking towards your future or towards your personal development? So that is what highlights,
As I know, above 90 भी cluster है.
हाँ, exactly.
ऐसा नहीं है कि 2 या 3 लोग ही हैं वो.
नहीं, there are a lot of people.
There are hundreds.
Exactly. But then how you write your SOP, which is your statement of purpose, choice of words, way of presentation, in the end that matters the most. So
even you talked about SOP just now.
Yeah.
As I know, and I have talked to few students that came in, not in UFT.
Yeah.
not even in University of British Columbia or University of Toronto. I'm talking about simple colleges which are not in top 50 or 100.
Right.
Even their SOPs are written by an agent.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It doesn't. Because it's your statement of purpose. It's your life story that you're describing. Someone else is just writing based off of a template. उन्होंने ऐसे हजारों और SOPs लिखी होंगी from that same template, just changing your name, date of birth, place of birth, and everything that is related to you. बाकी सब चीज़ें same to same. I'm coming to Canada for this. This is my purpose of coming. This is where I'll stay, and that's when I'll leave. So that doesn't outshine in your application, and which is why I also do believe काफ़ी सारे students की visa applications भी reject होते हैं because they don't end up writing it themselves. It's the same repetitive application जो consultants देख चुके हैं thousands of times. And
how to write an SOP? You wrote it yourself.
I did.
Yeah.
Knowing,
just for someone who does not know at all.
Yeah.
Who is going in to fill the application.
Yeah.
Okay, let it be UFT, UBC, any other top 50 colleges or any other college.
Right.
Or university. What is the way?
There are two different things. One is statement of purpose for visa. One is your letter of introduction or, your college essay. What exactly it is called for the university that you're applying for. So statement of purpose in terms of general agar मैं बात करूँ, you should know why you're applying to that university, like why that particular university, why that particular course, what you're going to learn out from it, what are you going to do with that information, what is your future plan. If you haven't planned any of it, there's no point, for having someone else to write that. So knowing where you're going and knowing where you're coming from, वो सारी चीज़ें अगर आप लिखोगे, that will give them a better idea and better assessment of who this person is, if we want them in this country or if we want them in this university.
So you can take help from someone?
You can take help, grammatical help or how to frame it. You can provide them with content and then someone can write it for you. But from scratch, it shouldn't be someone exterior or a third party who is writing that for you.
People are just hiring agents.
Hiring agents for doing that. Everything from start to finish.
They just take like some bucks, $100 or 12,000 rupees in India
and get everything done.
Yeah. We talked about extracurricular activities, academics, how to get into such prestigious colleges. What after that? How does life change once you land?
Once you land, life takes a 180-degree turn. You no longer have family. घर का जो comfort है, गाड़ी है, जितनी भी आपके पास resources हैं back home, you are basically starting your life from scratch at the age of mere 17, 18 or even 20 for people who come for their masters. Settling in, finding a place to live if you're not living on campus, making friends, going into your first day at university or college and then seeing आपके आसपास लोग कैसे हैं, उस environment में adjust करना, weather में adjust करना. It takes a toll on your mental health if you're not already prepared for it in advance.
True.
So life does change a lot and it takes a lot in you to settle in the first few weeks.
Now, it's about settling as a student. And let's talk about when you join in academics of your university. When you start your university.
Yeah.
How is it? How it feels? Because education system in India and the Western education system
completely different. Yeah. India में क्या होता था? Notebook, pen, pencil, स्कूल लेके जा रहे हो आप. You're writing everything down, pages and pages of content. आप सबमिट कर रहे हो, टीचर चेक कर रही है, वापस कर रही है. कॉलेजेस में भी रिटन रिपोर्ट्स ज़्यादा होती हैं एज कम्पेयर टू docs or presentation files or essays and papers on computer. On my first day of university, first day of classes, calculus की class थी, maths class. It was a class full of 350 students. मेरा वही नोटबुक पेन पेंसिल, हाँ लैपटॉप है साथ में क्योंकि बुक ऑनलाइन है, ई बुक्स थी इंस्टेड ऑफ फिजिकल कॉपीज, बट हाँ नोटबुक पेन पेंसिल थी टू नोट डाउन कि जो बोर्ड पे लिखा जाएगा वो मैं नोट कर लूँगी, या कोई क्वेश्चन सॉल्व हो गया कुछ भी. All 349 students around me who are coming from Canada itself or from the US or from other countries abroad, as soon as the professor started talking, I could only hear clicking sound of laptop keys. Everyone started typing and I had no idea what to do. मैं अपनी नोटबुक में लिख रही हूँ जो भी मुझे समझ आ रहा है, क्योंकि क्वेश्चन तो कोई सॉल्व हुआ ही नहीं. इट वॉज जस्ट बेसिकली हिम एक्सप्लेनिंग एवरीथिंग थियोरेटिकली. अगर कोई क्वेश्चन भी बोर्ड पे सॉल्व हो रहा है, किड्स आर डूइंग इट ऑन देयर लैपटॉप, दे आर टेकिंग पिक्चर्स, अपलोडिंग ऑन गुड नोट्स या नोशन एंड देन राइटिंग इट्स एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑन द साइड. So the way they study here, the way they have studied in school as well, completely different from how you study back home. तो मुझे 1-1.5 महीना तो इसी चीज़ में सेटल होने में लगा कि यहाँ पढ़ना कैसे है, how to make myself efficient and how to catch up in classes, क्योंकि पहला हफ्ता तो ऐसे ही निकल गया समझने में, देखने में, लेक्चर्स 2-2 घंटे के लेक्चर्स. अब स्कूल में पीरियड होते थे 40-45 मिनट्स के, उसमें भी टीचर 15 मिनट लेट आते थे, 5 मिनट पहले निकल जाते थे. सो दैट इज़ वेरी डिफरेंट हियर. यहाँ कोई आपके ऊपर चेक नहीं रख रहा है अगर आप क्लास आ रहे हो या नहीं आ रहे हो. स्कूल में 2 दिन आप छुट्टी मारते हो, या इवन कॉलेजेस इंडिया में आपके अगर परसेंटेज ऑफ अटेंडेंस सर्टेन लेवल से नीचे है तो आपको एग्जाम नहीं लिखने देंगे. सो यू आर अकाउंटेबल फॉर अटेंडेंस. हियर यू आर नॉट. तो अगर आप क्लास जा रहे हो, यू आर डूइंग अ फेवर टू योर सेल्फ. अगर आप नहीं जाओगे, नोबडी इज़ गोइंग टू चेक इन ऑन यू कि आप क्लास क्यों नहीं आए, या प्रोफेसर ईमेल करके पूछेगा नहीं कि why were you absent, because they have a lot of people to take care of, or a lot of people to teach and have questions from. तो individual attendance कह रही हूँ, individual attention नहीं मिलती है. So it is on you at the end how you're taking care of yourself, your academics, and taking it from there.
Again, what I feel, individual, this all care and everything is different.
Yeah.
When we talk about academics, in India we spoon feed.
Yeah.
Outside India, there is nothing like that.
Yeah.
Your material is with you, professor is coming, he'll teach, he'll go.
Exactly. There is all the content available for you, but again, nobody is checking in कि आपने वो videos देखे या आपने class attend करी, assignment submit करी, नहीं करी. अगर आप कर रहे हो, well and good, check होके marks मिल जाएंगे. अगर आप नहीं submit कर रहे हो, if you forgot the deadline, extension आपको नहीं मिलेगी. या barely if you have any medical implications या कुछ emergency है, तो they'll give you an extension. But simply because you forgot or you were out of town or anything, there's no extension being given to you. So you are responsible for your own actions. Basically that. India में people will run behind you कि काम नहीं किया या submission नहीं हुआ, कुछ भी. स्कूल में भी ऐसा ही होता था. But nobody is running behind you.
इंडिया में एक common line सुनते हैं, just get into this university, after that everything will be fine. एक बार 12th कर लो, फिर सब ठीक है.
Right.
एक बार यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ टोरंटो, ऑक्सफोर्ड, IIT, एम्स एडमिशन ले लो, फिर सब ठीक है.
हाँ.
क्या सब ठीक है?
नहीं. In terms of what I have experienced, यहाँ के struggle शुरू हुआ है. Sure, there was struggle school में भी as well of scoring good, scoring enough कि आपका किसी अच्छी यूनिवर्सिटी में एडमिशन हो जाए, बट वो स्ट्रगल ख़त्म. हाँ, श्योर लाइफ सेट है कि आप UofT में या ऑक्सफोर्ड में, हार्वर्ड में आ गए हो, बट देर इज़ अनदर काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रगल, अनदर काइंड ऑफ बैटल वेटिंग फॉर यू देयर. क्योंकि मेहनत आई एम 100% श्योर कभी ख़त्म नहीं होगी लाइफ में, बिकॉज ह्यूमन्स आर नेवर सेटिस्फाइड ऑफ देयर सक्सेस और नेवर सेटिस्फाइड ऑफ हाउ मच दे हैव इन लाइफ. हर किसी को आगे बढ़ना है, दे वॉन्ट टू डू द मोस्ट दे कैन डू. सो यहाँ के स्ट्रगल और एक्सपोनेंशियली बढ़ ही रहा है, बिकॉज और ज़्यादा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ हैं. इफ़ यू आर एन इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट, यू आर लिविंग अलोन एज वेल. अगर फैमिली नहीं है तो फ्रेंड्स भी अलग अलग सिटीज़ से, अलग अलग एथनिसिटीज़ से बन रहे हैं. सो यू हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ देयर इम्प्लीकेशंस एज वेल. एंड अगेन, क्लास में जाना है नहीं जाना है, इट्स अप टू यू. But then exam में no one is going to support you if you just go and say कि मैं absent थी, मुझे पता नहीं इस lecture में क्या हुआ. There's material online. You are responsible for that. You need to do that. So struggle basically never ends. Life कभी set नहीं होती है unless you settle upon it. अगर आप यहाँ आ गए हो तो पढ़ाई का प्रेशर है. If you want to do a part-time job, उसका प्रेशर है. Once you graduate, जॉब लेने का प्रेशर है. Once you get a job, प्रमोशन लेने का प्रेशर है. तो it's a never-ending cycle.
Was it easy to get into UFT, or it is easy to go through the whole process and get your degree?
So there's actually a very famous quote that Harvard is difficult to get into, but easy to get out of. On the other hand, U of T is easier to get into, but difficult to get out of. आप आ तो जाओगे यहाँ, but the academic pressure, the way टीचर्स मार्क्स को कर्व करते हैं. अगर उनको लग रहा है कि हिस्टोरिकली जितनी मेरी क्लास की एवरेज आई है, इस बार उससे ज़्यादा स्कोर किया बच्चों ने, सो दे विल ब्रिंग द स्कोर डाउन. एंड
वो स्कोर डाउन लेके आएंगे.
हाँ, इफेक्टिवली हर बच्चे का स्कोर नीचे आएगा. इफ़ दे थिंक हिस्टोरिकली इस क्लास की एवरेज 70 आई है, बट इस साल के बच्चों के 65 एवरेज मार्क्स आए हैं, सो दे विल गिव 5 एक्स्ट्रा मार्क्स टू एवरीवन टू मेंटेन दैट एवरेज. कोर्स एवरेज मेंटेन करने के लिए.
And why they don't want average to go up or down? Why not to give exact what you get?
That is to maintain the legacy. That is to maintain the rigor of the course. कई courses हैं ऐसे theory, macroeconomic courses और quantitative stats courses. Just to maintain what students think of it. मान लो अगर सबने easily score कर लिया, तो इनकमिंग ईयर्स में हाँ बच्चे विल स्टार्ट टू टेक द कोर्स लाइटली. तो जस्ट टू मेंटेन दैट लेवल ऑफ डिफिकल्टी एंड अटेनेबिलिटी ऑफ स्कोर इन दैट क्लास, वो हिस्टोरिकल मार्क्स के बेसिस पे हर बार एवरेज को एडजस्ट करते हैं. एंड दैट देन डिसाइड्स योर परफॉर्मेंस. इफ समवन स्कोर्ड 90 एंड द प्रोफेसर हैड टू एडजस्ट द क्लास एवरेज टू 5 मार्क्स अपवर्ड्स, क्योंकि बाकी पूरी क्लास के इतने अच्छे मार्क्स नहीं आए, तो 90 वाले बच्चे के 95 हो जाएंगे, 60 वाले के 65 हो जाएंगे. सो दैट्स हाउ दे कीप फ्लक्चुएटिंग. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि एकेडमिकली ईजी है. एंड एज कम्पेयर टू इट्स US काउंटरपार्ट्स, आई हैव अ लॉट ऑफ फ्रेंड्स जो US में शिकागो में या UIUC इलिनॉय में पढ़ रहे हैं. Their lives seem relatively easier and happier
than students of UFT.
Yes, which is why the Harvard वाली saying that Harvard is difficult to get into, बहुत कम acceptance का है. I think it is 3 to 4%. So difficult to get into, but easy to get out of. Once you get in, you are sailing through it. But U of T में once you get in, you are not sailing through it. You are fighting and killing and then going through it.
You're fighting to survive, basically.
Fighting to survive, yes. Survival of the fittest. Because a lot of people end up scoring bad, end up getting out of the program. So to also maintain आप कौन से program में हो, there's a threshold of GPA that you need to have. तो अगर उससे नीचे slip हुई, you are out of the program.
Again, out of the program. एक और चीज बहुत famous है, like really famous.
Yeah.
फेमस यूनिवर्सिटीज के ड्रॉपआउट्स CEOs बन रहे हैं and all that stuff.
That is a very small percentage of people who drop out actually. ये पता नहीं लोगों के अंदर बहुत मिथ बन गया है ऑनलाइन रील्स वगैरह देख के, पता नहीं, बट
ये भी ड्रॉप आउट थे.
ड्रॉप आउट है,
लाइक ऐसी रील्स बन रही है ना.
Yeah.
ये भी ड्रॉप आउट थे, ये भी ड्रॉप आउट थे.
बट दे डोंट सी ऑन द बिगर पिक्चर. सुंदर पिचाई इज नॉट अ ड्रॉप आउट. जेफ बेजोस इज नॉट अ ड्रॉप आउट. सो एंड अगर वो ड्रॉप आउट्स हैं भी, दे आर ड्रॉप आउट्स फ्रॉम हार्वर्ड, स्टैनफोर्ड, ऑक्सफोर्ड. सो dropping out of say any random college in Canada or a random university in India will not make you a CEO just because you have the courage to drop out. Sure, it's not degrading or not demotivating you, but जो वो dropouts हैं, they have achieved something to get into those universities, proved themselves and had an idea, thus they dropped out. कुछ तो drop out भी नहीं करते. Universities ही इतनी facilities provide करती हैं, incubators provide करती हैं to create your venture there, build it up there.
Many universities provide in combinators like Y Combinator and all. Yeah.
So it's not like if you drop out of U of T, you will become a CEO. But sure, if you have a good plan of action, you know what you're doing, then go ahead with it.
So, Benjamin Graham के जो you can say student रहे हैं, Warren Buffett, he has also said in one of his interviews that if you're checking dropouts, check from where he's dropped out.
Exactly. Because they have, अगर 100 बच्चों में से 3 ही accept हो रहे हैं और अगर उन 3 में से एक वो हैं, so you need to compare their application with the rest 97 and see what they have done in life, what plans they have with themselves, and the courage they have to drop out and then pursue what they want to do. A lot of dropouts have failed also, but most of them...
The hype is created from the ones who are in success.
Exactly.
Who have succeeded.
But कहाँ से drop out किया है, that is more important. No name college से drop out करके you can't compare yourself to someone who is a billionaire today. कि हाँ, उसने भी drop out किया था, मैं भी drop out करके कुछ कर लूँगा. Sure, again saying you can do it, but don't just compare कि सिर्फ drop out किया है. ये देखो कहाँ से drop out किया है. So they have achieved something to get in and then drop out of that university.
And they had a plan.
Exactly.
They dropped out because they were not having enough mental ability or time that time कि वो अपने business को और studies को साथ चला सकें.
Right. And for people dropping out, they know कि इतनी prestigious university है, यहाँ से graduation कर ली तो easily इतनी base salary तो मिलेगी ही मिलेगी. But their ideas are so firm that they know कि उससे 10x ज़्यादा या 100x
we are not talking about 10x. We are talking about actually
thousands and hundreds of x की मेरा
yeah.
net revenue और मेरा gross profit इतना होगा. So having that vision is more important than just thinking of dropping out.
But talking about sub dropouts हैं. Now I'll also drop out from this 2-room college and tomorrow I'll become next Jeff Bezos. That is...
Sure, idea है, conviction है, करो, but don't compare yourself to someone who dropped out from Harvard. Again, not demotivating or degrading in any way, but they have proved themselves to be somebody before making that decision. So
they say that in a room full of students, if one is from Harvard, you can easily recognize them.
I've heard it. That is for sure.
If one is from Harvard, you can feel it that this guy is from Harvard. If one is from Oxford, Stanford, Princeton, you can feel it.
Yeah.
Then from IIT, from IIM, they have a different vibe. They have a different energy.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that one thing?
Years of hard work, presentation, public speaking, communication skills, and basic manners, basically. अगर आप किसी social environment में हो, listening more than speaking, knowing what you're speaking, thinking twice before you're speaking, and अगर कुछ add करना है conversation में तो कुछ meaningful add कर रहे हो. You're just not speaking to gather attention from that room. Attention gather करना is for people who know that are lacking that attention. But people who are accomplished or who have achieved something in life, उनको, they don't want attention, they don't crave attention. Because they know अगर वो एक चीज़ बोलेंगे, the whole room is going to stop and listen to them.
Let's come back to UFT.
Yeah.
What about jobs? I recently talked about the scenario of jobs with the president of Canadian Oracle College. I asked him that why is it so that in a business course, we are talking about what is the placement rate that these many people are getting jobs by doing this business course. Anyway, the main focus of a business course is not to get a job, is to make them capable
Right.
that they can start their business.
Right.
And competing on getting a good job out of a business course, is it defining itself?
I would say, again, it depends on your specialization. From a U of T perspective, we have 11 specializations, ranging from accounting to strategy, finance, HR, entrepreneurship. So, again, entrepreneurship clearly defines that they're preparing students how to, make a startup or how to manage people, how to gather funding. Venture capitalist wale courses unko padhaye jate hain. For finance, we have capital markets ke courses, portfolio management and trading strategies and, corporate finance. ये सब चीज़ें पढ़ाई जाती हैं. HR में again, psychology, people management, organization, behavior. Boils down to your specialization. But जो diploma mills हैं, they are not providing that sort of specialization or the skill that a student will apply to one specific job. They will be basically everywhere. Because basic knowledge about global business management or international business is not going to take you anywhere. किसी भी company में there's international business manager. ये कोई position या designation है ही नहीं. There are specialized people in the workforce. So as long as you're specialized, you can enter the business world, straying away from creating your own business. But yeah, business courses are not all about making a startup or creating a startup. It's more about managing a business or more about joining a workforce in a specialized manner and contributing to that. एंड गोल सबका अलग हो सकता है. किसी को ये होगा कि मुझे अपनी कंपनी बनानी है, CEO बनना है, बट somebody would be happy with an MD position in a big 5 bank.
Again, why is it so that people from prestigious colleges have this mindset of creating startups, and people from not so prestigious colleges usually plan that let's do a job. I have a good package.
Right.
And if you see people from prestigious college, they don't settle up. They don't settle up for these jobs. They don't say I have a $200,000 package or I have a $500,000 package and I'm very happy and all that. They don't even show off for that thing, and just they find a root cause and they are working on that. I'm not saying all.
Yeah.
Even I'm not saying all from no-name colleges are like that. But mostly are like that. Why is that so? What is the culture, or what is that thing these colleges inculcate in you?
I think it basically stems from nature and the habits you have built from a long time. अब IIT की जो बच्चे preparation कर रहे हैं, they're spending at least 2 years preparing for that exam. They are not settling for a less or a average score. Every time, every mock test, every exam, they're trying to do better, trying to kill it and make their way through. तो वो चीज़ अगर आप इतनी continuation में इतने सालों से कर रहे हो, it becomes one of your key habits, या it inculcates in your nature कि settle नहीं होना है किसी एक चीज़ पे. So once you get in those colleges, again, as we talked about incubators, अलग-अलग तरह के programs हैं, you have those sorts of connections. You see alumni, कोई किसी company का founder है या किसी ने कोई company join करी, and now they're the CEO of that company. There are examples like Sundar Pichai and then Satya Nadella, yes. So there are examples of people who have studied from India and who are ruling the tech world in the US. I don't know, I heard somewhere that about 10% of US CEOs or founders are Indians.
Yes.
So these kind of things are driving forces. And abhi thodi startup wave bhi hai. Everyone is trying to identify problems and getting into a new space, creating a new market. तो जहाँ support students को मिल रहा है, वहाँ फिर वो action भी ले रहे हैं. So yeah, not settling just becomes their basic nature, and that's why not settling upon just a job, trying to see कहाँ वो अपनी लाइफ को अपनी टर्म्स पे जी सकते हैं. Because in corporate you're just basically bound Monday to Friday 9 to 5. You have to do what you have to do. If you have settled up a business good enough, you can do whatever you want. So,
but people don't understand one thing. Before starting a business or a small startup, that it's not easy.
Yeah.
People think that job was difficult. Business में जब मन करेगा तब काम करेंगे.
100%. That वो automation बाद में आती है.
True.
पहले तो
if you're working 12 hours or 8 hours in business, you have to work 18 hours there or 20 hours.
Yeah. For sure.
That's when business is developed.
Initial
वो automation 5-7 साल बाद
5-7 साल बाद आएगी. Yes.
True.
But that's what people are craving for. वो settling वाला period काफी time बाद आता है निकल के. So
थोड़ा सा जॉब की तरफ जाते हैं. UFT and outside.
Right.
First about UFT. Is it quick? Is it fast to get jobs once you graduate from UFT?
It definitely helps in terms of connections, alumni and the resources university provides. अगर मैं LinkedIn पे जाऊँ और मैं लिखूँ say any company, Deloitte U of T or Microsoft U of T, I will find at least 10 people who have graduated from U of T and are now working in that specific company or that specific field. Now this can range from automobile to startups. बीच में जितनी kind of industries हैं सबको ले आओ, कहीं ना कहीं कोई ना कोई आपको मिल जाएगा from these prestigious universities or large universities working in every sort of industry available. You being from that university gives you an edge and an opportunity to connect with them. Coffee chat आप कर सकते हो उनके साथ. You get an inside view of how the company operates and how they got into that company. And you can grab all that information, put it in your resume, put it in your cover letter, show it to the recruiter to that specific job that you're applying for, and then end up joining that workforce. So it definitely makes things a lot easier. But again, आपके हाथ में आप कितना effort डाल रहे हो in the end. If you're somebody who thinks कि हाँ easy है हो जाएगा, unless you sit down and do it, नहीं होगा. And same way for non-prestigious schools as well. You will find somebody or the other working in some company that you like or you want to be a part of. This country runs on connections basically. As long as you're reaching out to people, expanding your network, showing them that you're passionate about something, you have a long way to go. So it does give an edge, but it's not like yehi sirf ek tarika hai to get jobs and other people don't get jobs. So this country runs on connections and the way you present yourself, the way you're able to articulate your thoughts, जो आपके मन में है आप कितना easily सामने वाले को समझा पा रहे हो in the least words possible, that's what takes you places.
Employer or HR has 2 resumes. One is a UFT, no-name college. Both are almost similar. Okay, this one is a topper from that no-name college. By no-name college, I'm not defaming any college.
Yeah.
But not in top 500 or top 100.
Right.
So to say. What are we going to select?
If they're exactly the same?
Yeah. Their experiences are same.
Yeah.
Almost similar. So 2 resumes can't be completely same.
Exactly. Similar in nature.
This one is from UFT. That one is topper, but from his college.
Difficult to say, because depends on the mentality or the emotional state of the person who is looking at those 2 resumes. कहीं ना कहीं किसी को कोई भी flaw दिख जाएगा, they will just discard that resume. But difficult to say again.
This answers my question actually.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. It will make the ones who have been into other colleges happy that if they perform good, there is a chance.
There is a chance. 100% there is a chance.
So the 2 resumes can be on same table if you are doing good.
Yeah. And it again circles back to not settling. The thing we've been talking about. अगर आप सिर्फ वही चीज़ें परफॉर्म कर रहे हो जो आपके कोर्स रोस्टर में लिखी हुई हैं, कोर्स आउटलाइन में लिखी हुई हैं, you're doing the same thing as other 500 students around you are doing. What extra steps you're taking? अगर आप कोई कोर्सेरा से कोर्सेज कर रहे हो या एक आधे हार्वर्ड से आपने कोर्सेज किए हैं, या if you're doing a part-time job or volunteering somewhere, these things do add up कि पढ़ाई के साथ साथ somebody is doing these things as well against someone who has only and only studied and not performed any extracurricular activities. So again, अगर एक U of T student and कोई non-prestigious university college student का resume is at the same level in terms of, say, the student has taken a lot more courses to be equivalent to the U of T student, I would say जो college student है उसको preference मिलेगी, because from the resources they had, they performed way more than an average student from their college would have performed. And फिर वो U of T student का resume या किसी और prestigious university student का resume ऐसा लगेगा कि हाँ, इनके पास इतनी resources हैं, why are they only equivalent to a college student? So it boils down to...
They have to outperform.
Exactly. And there are resources to outperform. There are endless opportunities for someone to outperform.
We'll talk about resources. Yeah. I want this podcast to be a bundle of resources.
Right.
To be end-to-end clearance for anyone who is getting into college.
Right.
Before going to resources or any other questions of mine, Harvard online courses, Coursera courses. Let's talk about different universities giving online courses. Harvard is giving, Oxford is giving, even IITs are giving. IIT Mumbai recently launched 2 more courses.
Right.
Their certificates, do they make a difference?
They do.
Because anyway, recruiter knows that they're online courses. They've just, grabbed these certificates just to put in here.
Right. So, as far as my knowledge is, अगर आप Coursera से भी कोई course कर रहे हो, you have to give an exam at the end.
Exactly.
Although you can cheat and you can, go online and search and put in your answers, but you are making that effort. And some of these certificates are paid. Unless you have a Coursera subscription given to you free of cost by your university, वो certificate लेने के लिए you have to pay, ranging anywhere between $50 to $200. So, again, boils down to that. अगर आपकी university आपको offer कर रही है, that means you have those resources in front of you and you are a student that will, partake in those courses. I know some students, some of my friends in certain colleges here who don't have access to Coursera at all. Because maybe their college thinks कि ये बच्चे शायद pursue नहीं करेंगे वो courses. But my university does offer access to Coursera, access to edX, any sort of extra courses that we need. We have a Bloomberg terminal on campus. My campus is providing scholarship for students who want to write the CFA exam. So CFA level 1 ke liye, now that students can write it while they're doing their undergrad.
What is CFA level 1?
Chartered Financial Analyst. So it's a finance charter.
Okay, that's CA is CFA here. Or is it same?
CA is CPA.
CPA, okay.
Chartered Professional Accountant. And CFA is financial.
Okay.
So CFA is more for financey people who want to get into high finance and capital markets and private equity. But CPA is only for accounting and audit assurance, those areas. So, उनके लिए scholarships offer होती हैं. Students can compete for them, get a scholarship and then write that exam. So, again, but your university is giving a lot of resources to you. Right.
Now I understand why you told कि अगर 2 resumes में ये इतना कुछ कर रहा है,
right,
no name college,
right,
student,
they are outperforming.
They are outperforming because you had resources.
सब कुछ given है. वो बच्चे के ऊपर depend कर रहा है वो कितनी जगह जाके चीजें perform कर रहा है. यहाँ पे भले ही resources कम है, but if they're going out of their way to gather certifications and gather experience, that is keeping them equivalent.
And recruiter knows कि for that person it's really hard. Comparing to UFT person, it's really hard for them. Okay, does UFT provide any resources for non-UFT students or even outside?
I
They
don't
should know.
think so. They shouldn't actually.
Why?
I think they do provide resources.
Yeah, some online courses are there.
Yeah, they provide online
in
courses.
edX and Coursera and all that. There are courses.
U of T has a lot of online courses on these platforms, which I think would be paid for someone who doesn't have, access through their school. But they do provide support and resources to incoming students or prospective students. So every year, starting in May through August, they have the Get Started program. So anyone who wants to be a part of U of T can come to campus or join these seminars online and then provide them resources. This is how you can apply, or this is what happens in your first semester at U of T. This is how you can prepare in advance and get ready for school, basically. So they have those kind of opportunities and resources for incoming students. But for who are not studying full-time here, I think except for Coursera, there's no other resources available. So unless you're a student.
Shouldn't they provide something for non-U of T students as well?
What would be the differentiation then?
But education should be available to everyone.
Not
on campus.
Yeah.
But at least some basic education should be available.
Right. And I think that's through those Coursera courses that they're doing. And a lot of universities do have courses on different subjects.
Mm-hmm.
I know Macquarie University, which is on Australia, they have an Excel for business course. So for U of T to make another Excel course doesn't make sense because there's already one and it's highly accredited and there's only so much you can provide because there's abundance of knowledge available online already on YouTube, on edX, on Coursera. So for one university to provide everything to students who are not a part of it makes less sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We talked about jobs. Let's talk about the fee structure.
Yeah.
You talked about it's like $60,000.
Yeah.
Counting to miscalculation of mine, it's $240,000.
Yeah.
For 4 years.
Right.
And you got $100,000 scholarship. $100,000, right?
100,000, yes.
Mm-hmm. How was it getting the scholarship? What was the reaction that time?
It was very surprising because we were contemplating going to U of T because if you convert $60,000 annualized into INR, it is a huge amount for an Indian middle class family to afford and to, send your child away from you and, itna zyada capital expenditure on education. So that was one thing we were concerned about, still contemplating, deciding, and within 4 to 5 days, this letter came in and things became a lot clearer. Jab tak scholarship nahi thi, we were still thinking ki somehow we could finance it and still go there because it was a great opportunity. I got into a program of my first choice, although I applied at the very, very end. Jab mujhe koi umeed nahi hi thi ki in the first place admission hoga bhi and in the first choice of program. But when things started happening, taking place, and then the scholarship came in, it was a huge amount. So then again, बैठ के सारे finances recalculate करें.
In rupees?
The scholarship? 60 lakhs.
60 lakhs.
Yeah. Depends on the...
That's a huge amount.
Yeah.
That's
still substantially small in front of the fees paid.
Yeah, exactly.
But हाँ, करीब 2 साल की fees मेरी उसमें cover हो गई. So like 40% of my tuition covered.
That was... really of good help, I think.
It was of good help and it made our decision-making process very easier.
Mm-hmm.
So, helped.
And does U of T provide scholarships to most of the students? Because this amount, $240,000, I don't think most students could afford it.
In terms of tuition?
Yeah.
So, you are right and wrong. Mm-hmm. There are people from India who belong to business families and from places in India that can afford
I'm talking about majority.
Right.
Majority population, middle class. If you ask them to pay to $40,000 for
It's
education.
a huge amount.
It's a huge amount.
It's a huge amount, yeah. Which is why people tend to complete their bachelor's in India and then move for their master's. That's a trend that I have seen. A lot of my friends who are planning to come to Canada or the US are currently doing their bachelor's in India. But then, again, coming back to the fee structure, it is difficult for even an upper middle class to, spare out 36 lakhs without a scholarship a year to pay towards tuition and GIC, visa application fee, and then moving expenses, everything comes into play. So it is difficult, but for people who are managing it, for people who are financing loans and, doing everything to get education here, hats off. It's a dedication that.
So, talking about business people, their kids who have enough resources that they can get into and give fees and everything. For them, is it easy to get into UFT?
Like I mentioned, if we talk about, Delhi High Society or Bombay High Society, students have abundance of resources in their schools as well. IB schools or ICSC, they have endless opportunities. So their profile builds up in a certain way that when they apply, they get accepted. They get credits as well. So IB, the International Baccalaureate Program, I think people who graduate from IB get 1.5 to 2 credits. That basically you doing almost one semester already before coming to university.
Wow.
So they get 2 credits in advance and they don't have to do the basic courses that students do in the first year. A few of my friends who have done IB did not have to take the economics courses I had to take in my first year because their school credits are counted up to that. So coming back to the affordability structure, there are friends of mine or students that I know who wouldn't care if tuition was increased $20,000 by a year.
What is the diversity we are looking at in UFT? Or any of such? While talking about UFT, I'm talking about not just
Every
University of Toronto.
Prestigious university.
It's about University of British Columbia,
Waterloo,
then Waterloo, one more university is
McGill.
there. McGill University, yes. Then we are talking about US universities.
Yeah.
Like, I think the structure is almost similar of all these prestigious universities. What is the diversity we are looking at? Is it really culturally diverse?
100%. There are students from more than 150 countries in U of T itself, and this can be said for all other, top 20 or top 50 universities worldwide. I have seen people coming from countries that I didn't know of. I knew these countries exist, but I wouldn't expect to see.
Naming any country?
Naming Ivory Coast in South Africa, in Africa, or Mongolia. I know there's a country named Mongolia, but
you don't know much about it. Yeah,
I don't know much, and meeting someone from Mongolia, that's a very, culturally shocking thing to see.
That means these universities are trying their best that they can get from maximum amount of countries possible.
They're not even trying. They are popular enough for students to apply and then be there, studying there.
Do they have a cap? Like if, let's say, eligible students from India, 200 have applied, so they cannot give to all 200 from India?
Not too sure about that, but they do have a domestic to international student ratio. Say if there are only 100 students that can be in this university and 90 are international who have impeccable applications, U of T or any other university being a public university cannot disregard the domestic students. So they do have a reservation system, just like we have in India, but just reservation based on domestic versus international. As per my knowledge, about 40 to 50% are international students.
But there's no reservation for
There's no reservation for any
country.
specific country. No. If I talk about ethnicity or the countries that have the most number of representation, that is India and China. So there are a bunch of people from India and China, but also a lot of people from Africa, from more Eastern countries, from Philippines or from Japan, from Russia. So there are abundance of countries where people hail from. Namely, India and China to be the most contributing ones, but itna nahi that they outshadow everyone else. Itna nahi ki feel ho ki हाँ सिर्फ Indians, Chinese और Canadians पढ़ रहे हैं यहाँ पे. Diversity दिखती है.
Talking about these, let's go back to jobs and all that we were talking about. Right now, I don't know about UFT or any other university students, but many students don't opt for, they don't even know about on-campus jobs or in-campus jobs.
Yeah.
They go for really odd jobs doing out there, which doesn't resonate to your current subjects or your field of education.
Survival jobs, basically.
Just survival jobs, odd jobs, that's what I told. And just fitting to that survival needs of yours.
Yeah.
And soon you realize that this is what you're going to do for 5-10 years. And they are just stuck in there, not coming out of those jobs even, because now you have to get PR, and after that you have this work and that work, and then responsibilities of family, and then you just get drawn into that same field.
Right. Plus the course you have taken might just be a generic course which hasn't provided you skills enough to apply for a bank or an auditing company for you to get a job there.
What's your message to students applying to any university like this, and they don't know what situation they are going to go into?
It is not bad for you to take up a job for survival or for you to, manage your own expenses without having your family pay for it, because you feel that sort of responsibility and the fact that I am in a country that provides opportunities for students to be working while also studying. It's good that you're taking charge of your life, but not at the cost of neglecting your academics and neglecting what your future could look like. If you are trying to seek work, try to see work on your campus first.
Okay, first of all, let's get into that. What is the best way to get on-campus job?
Talking to people who recruit, going to your student portal. Like we have a common portal at U of T, which is called Career and Learning Network. They post jobs cyclically. So for every fall and winter, jobs are posted in August. They will be posted in the next 10 days. Whatever fits your needs or fits your, what experiences you have, apply for that. They will have every information written. What's the job description, where you have to work, what are the working hours, and they'll also write the name of the person who is recruiting or the one who will be your manager. So going an extra step, going on campus, trying to meet that person, introduce yourself in person. Because what you are on resume is somewhat different from what you are in person. Someone might look very, very great on a resume, but in person, shayad communication skills utni achhi na ho. Someone might not have words or, keywords good enough in a resume, but they might be good at communication and fit for that role. So going an extra step is always the key to finding. Yeah.
Okay, now let's get into internships. How to land into a good internship which can lead you to a good job after that.
So Canada having their studies every 3 semesters a year, basically fall, winter and summer, there are co-ops and internships being offered. Co-op is just a way to help international students work off campus during their study years. So say if you are in a co-op program, you can take the fall or the winter or even both the semesters off, and IRCC or any other immigration government body is not going to question you, because you have a co-op work permit that you can show to them that, hey, this is a part of my educational program and my university wants me to do 3 co-op work terms before graduating. So they won't question you on that or won't reject your postgraduate work permit based on that. If you are not in a co-op program, summer is the best time. People do take scheduled breaks in the summer and work full-time, rigorously in their part-time job to earn money, of course. But applications for each hiring semester open 1 semester in advance. Say if you want a summer internship, starting from May, applications will open either in December or January on the company portal. Or if your college or university has a job board, wahan pe bhi they will start listing jobs.
Okay.
They will have the job description. Universities and colleges might also have names of the recruiters that you can reach out to on LinkedIn. Or you can just simply go on LinkedIn and find RBC Early Talent Recruiter. If you just search those keywords, anybody who is an RBC Early Talent Recruiter will come up on your feed. If they have those keywords in their profile, which they would if they're working in that position. So, tailoring your resume, tailoring your cover letter. People might think कि सब लोग यही चीज़ बोलते हैं, but सब लोग यही चीज़ इसीलिए बोलते हैं because it works. अगर आप cover letter में, if you're applying for a finance job, and if आपका cover letter is nowhere associated to a financial role or nowhere highlights that आपको Excel आता है या आपको Power BI यूज़ करना आता है, ATS में आपका स्कोर बनेगा ही नहीं उतना. ATS is also one buzzword these days कि ATS से resume पास होते हैं फिर recruiter के पास जाते हैं.
Okay.
So I don't know the full form of ATS, but it's just a resume scanning AI tool that will
scan
proportionate your resume
then
according to the job description, if there are words matching or if there are phrases matching, and that will be sent further to the recruiter.
Others will be automatically rejected.
Filtered out. Yeah. So that's a new way of filtering out resumes and then having people get rejected in the first round of applications. So tailoring your resume is one thing that you need to do.
Okay. Talking about resumes. How should an ideal resume look like? Now, people have 6-page resumes, as I told you.
Yeah.
Someone with an experience of 4 years has 6-page resumes.
I think even they shouldn't have a 6-page resume.
True.
Yeah.
So how ideal resume looks like to land a good job?
No more than 1 page. 1 page is a hard stop. If you are 20 years of age and you have a 3, 4, 5 page resume, there is something really, really wrong with your resume. You have to only write things that are of value towards the company, towards the recruiter and towards the job. जो चीज़ें जॉब से मैच कर रही हैं सिर्फ वही चीज़ें लिखनी है. प्रायोरिटाइज करना है व्हाट इज़ मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट. कीवर्ड्स कैची यूज़ करने हैं जो जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन में मेंशन्ड है, जैसे डेडिकेटेड और spearheaded a task. These kinds of keywords are what recruiters are looking for. Adding a skills section just so ATS catches those words. Excel, PowerPoint, basic चीज़ें, and even advanced Azure, Power BI, वो सब लिखना. Making a soft skills section in your skills section, that you are soft spoken or you have soft skills, you have good communication skills, you have good time management skills, writing those. I think someone who is studying in a postgraduate institute should not mention anything about their school.
Okay, so resume part we have covered. Now let's talk about the interview part. What is something to remember when you are in an interview? Okay, let me frame it differently. What is something people should look at when they have already passed to give an interview, right, or they have been chosen for
invited for an interview? Yeah. One major question that everyone is going to ask is, tell us about yourself. So preparing that question, tell me about yourself. I have a very concise tell me about yourself prepared, which I speak for every job invitation or interview that I'm invited to. And I have practiced this enough that I tend not to fumble when I'm speaking about it. So usko itne अच्छे से master कर लेना, because that is the first question everyone is going to ask you. And if you're not prepared for that, पहले ही question पे अगर आप गिर गए, then it becomes difficult for you to gain,
confidence,
the direction or the confidence for the interview. If you, pull the strings towards you पहले ही question में, if you try to mold कि इस interview का flow कैसा जाएगा, then it gets easier for you. But अगर पहले ही question पे if you're falling down, the recruiters or the hiring managers will outpower you.
That's like tug of war.
Exactly.
Game. So exactly. In the first pull itself, you have to make sure.
Yeah. And even towards the end of the interview, you know in advance किस job profile के लिए आपने apply किया है. Recruiters do send names of the hiring managers that will be taking your interview. So थोड़ा effort करके LinkedIn पे जाके search करना. Say first name, last name at RBC. उनकी profile देखना. How long have they been working at RBC? I have met people who have been working, since forever. उन्होंने start ही उस company में किया and 22-23 साल हो गए उसी company में वो काम कर रहे हैं. Asking them how their experience has been. How has this company compelled them to stay for 25 years in that company? So जब personalized questions आप पूछोगे, they will feel that you have put in the effort. Try talking to people who are working in the same position as you. I recently had an interview and I reached out to the current intern who is working there. तो उससे पूछना how her interview went and what kind of questions she was asked, what the team is like. That helped me a lot in my interview. And I did mention that I talked to the current intern and they were surprised. And they mentioned during the interview that you've done your research and that we're happy you have connected with our current intern. So these small things do play a lot.
It makes the interviewer happy that you are putting enough effort.
Putting in the effort. Yeah.
Also, let's wind up the interview towards the end. First of all, it's an honor that you are here, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you so much for sending an invitation.
It is really a fruitful conversation going on, and I think people will love and get some benefit out of this podcast.
Yeah.
Let's sum up the interview with some of this interview question with a message that you would like to give. A one short tip for the interview.
For
cracking the interview.
Cracking the interview. Make as many efforts as possible.
Research,
yeah. Do your basic research before the interview. Know what you're going in for. And pull the strings of the interview towards yourself in the very first answer that you give. If you have impressed the hiring manager in the first answer, the interview will go according to how you anticipated it. Because if you fumble or if you speak something wrong in the very first answer, your confidence is going to go down. And every next word that the hiring manager says is going to overpower you. And you will drown in self-doubt. कि दिमाग में background में चलता रहेगा, अरे मैंने तो ये गलत बोल दिया, या I fumbled, or I didn't add this thing about myself. So preparing that tell me about yourself question is really necessary, and it will help you in a lot of places. If you're even talking to a professor and they ask, who are you? So that tell me about yourself will help a lot.
What are the resources that a non-UFT or a person from non-prestigious universities can use? Now, by non-prestigious, I don't mean to defame.
Yeah.
We are talking about universities that are not in top 100 universities of the world.
Correct. Resources in terms of skill building, even if it's a top 100 or a non-top 100 university, I am 100% sure that there are resources free of cost available on campus, be it academic support, financial support if you need any, or resume building workshops or things like that. They do happen. They are everywhere. You just have to find it. one thing that I tell all the first years is never be shy to say hi. If you are facing a problem, if you don't know where to go or who to ask a solution for, just drop into the office, book an appointment, go the next day or the same day, whenever you get the appointment for, and put forward your questions. If you feel like you have a dumb question, you might find out that people have had dumber questions than you, or have asked this same question to your academic counselor hundreds of times before. This is their job. They're getting paid out of your tuition to help you out. So you have to help them help you by going to them first, explaining what the situation is, and getting an appropriate solution. So it's not like there aren't any resources for non-prestigious or prestigious universities for that matter. There is always a counselor, an academic and a financial counselor. Go to them, talk to them. In terms of skill building, professors do host researches every semester. Try talking to your favorite professor or the course that you've scored good in, that I want to be a part of your research. Or find research positions online. Try researching with them. It's a very great way to, build up your resume and add more and more things and skills to it. And learn Excel. Everyone today is, talking about Excel, how important it is. There are courses even on YouTube for that matter. Go to YouTube and learn Excel. Apply it in your daily life. For me, if I have to manage my finances, my budget, I use Excel for that. If me and my friends went out somewhere and we had a meal together, we would divide everything using Excel.
I think people have apps for that. Recently,
there's Splitwise and everything like that. But doing it on your own is just, another sort of a practice.
True.
So we do it using Excel. So total amount, name, HST, GST, everything gets divided equally, proportionately.
You learn the formulas, how to use the formulas in Excel.
And there are online, again, certificate courses for that. If your college is offering Coursera, that's really great.
It was an amazing podcast. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
It was an honor to host.
Again.
Thank you very much.